Stacie, how are you doing? Stacie Stern, everyone from Head2HeadSports. Yay!
I'm doing great. The conference is it's off to a great start. We're about halfway through, so I'm really excited with how things have worked out.
You have an official title with FSTA too, right? It's like we'll just call you chairman.
Well,
chairwoman?
No, because we actually have a chairman. But no, I am the conference chair. And I'm also on the Legislative Affairs Committee. So, because we kind of usually have one or two roles, but running these conferences and planning them is really almost a full-time job in and of itself.
And hey, you set the record. Your first.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Right.
Yes.
Most attendees ever.
Over 450, which is fantastic. You know, when I started coming to these conferences a number of years ago, it would be like 120, 125. But as we've seen the industry grow and all these new companies come into the space and more people are interested, we're getting outside interest too in media who wants to be here to cover this.
You know what's amazing is we're, of course, on the Fantasy Sports Network, television coverage. Of course, we're on radio.
Yeah.
And there's somebody there that, got a website and they've got an idea of how to get in the fantasy sports industry. How important is it to come out to events like this?
It's the most important thing. One of the things that we really do here is we create a lot of networking opportunities. And if you do have that idea and if you've got like the next big thing, you can get in front of real people. And this industry is also so welcoming and warm, and they really will. They'll give you honest feedback. They'll give you good ideas. They're willing to talk. I mean, sometimes that's the other thing. I just need to talk to an entrepreneur to figure out if I'm on the right path. So I can't think of a better industry to come and network and meet people and see if you can take your idea somewhere.
So now, how do you really feel about the people here?
Honestly, I don't have an enemy in the room. I have enemies on Twitter after my draft last night.
Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't want to bring it up because we figured you and Cole and the Wolfman have been getting
tons of hate tweets, but I actually think it's fine. I love it. I love having a presence in this industry that's, we could say, male-dominated. I'd say fairly.
We saw numbers like 34% driven now.
Females.
Isn't that awesome?
We're getting these in fragments. What is the actual sentence that was?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it for daily or is it for?
No, it's all fantasy sports. And so, it's just really, I think it's a testament to the types of people who are running companies and trying to figure out how do we get more players. Now, obviously, from a financial standpoint, they want more people to play, right?
Right.
But I think of it as, this is something that families can do together. And I say that because I'm a mom. So my kids are interested, and we watch sports together because that's good, clean fun for a family, right?
Yeah.
And so then my son's asking questions, and now my daughter's asking questions, and then these are kids who are going to buy jerseys, and we're going to buy tickets. So this is the absolute best sportsman you can get is people who play fantasy sports, and let's make it a family thing.
I remember doing a story like 8 years ago, and a guy had started a family fantasy site. And the winner would get money put into the it's the 529, the college fund thing.
Yeah. That's a great idea. I never heard that.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what. I guess I lost touch with him, but maybe he's here.
Who
knows?
Maybe but see, that's a great idea, right? And so, although I don't know how many people will actually do that, because there are people who say they put money away for college, but I think they'd rather spend it. So.
Yeah, right. You want a fantasy league? It's boring to put it away to college.
That's right.
One of the things that's in the fantasy sports industry that we're trying to correct is some of the states, and you come from Arizona, that don't participate in fantasy sports today.
Yeah.
Where are we on that front, and what can we expect to happen in the next few years on some of those states that haven't allowed this great game that we all love to play in their states?
You guys have no idea how hard it is for me, because I really cannot play daily fantasy games. And it's so frustrating because I see the surge, and I feel like I'd be pretty good sometimes, and I look at lineups and I go, oh gosh, I would love to play this team tonight, and I just can't do it. So we've been working with the local legislature. We're running into some issues. There's concerns with the casinos in Arizona and the tribes that they think we're going to compete with them. And it's really two totally different things, but a lot of people don't know that. Still, there's the education that fantasy sports are not gambling.
Yep.
I'm still facing that. So we are going to continue to work. We are respectful of everybody in the process. We understand there are different opinions, but I am not going to rest until people can play fantasy sports for cash prizes. They can play daily. They can play and just any prizes in Arizona, because it's really restrictive.
High stakes, all that stuff is
all of it. It's all you're not able to play any of that right now.
How do you approach this? And without do you go to like town hall meetings? Do you just say, hey, let's start a groundswell, or do you kind of start higher up in the legislature, and this is, come on, let's do this.
I actually, my neighbor is the Senate Majority Whip in Arizona.
Oh, no big deal, right?
I mean,
did you specifically move into that house to get that angle? And you're going to be the one that put the fantasy sports industry over the top?
Maybe. No, you know what's funny is we were at a neighborhood party, and he loves fantasy football, but he doesn't play for any money, and he was a big sports fan, and he had no idea. So he started checking out the issue, and he's an attorney, and he was like, I had no idea. So I started working with him. We've run into some obstacles, like I said, with tribal gaming, but he really believes that we can get this done once we talk sensibly with the attorney general and with the governor, and let's get all parties involved. So I'm not resting. It's going to happen.
Before we let you go, before we hit the commercial, Head2Head Sports.
Yes.
I mean, you see Stacie with, Cole and the Wolfman.
That's right.
You're doing the drafts.
That's right.
I feel like the Head-to-Head Sports element sometimes gets left out.
I know, and that's my day job.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. So we run it's a games company. We've been around for 21 years, which is unbelievable.
Wow.
And it's salary cap games were what we were known for. We have draft style games, but it's pay-to-play games for cash prizes. And we have all kinds of games. We have college football. I love fantasy college football. It's one of the best games out there, and a lot of people don't know about it. So that's a lot of fun.
And I think the daily fantasy industry is going to help college football. It's created an awareness. And I've talked about other sports, like we've got golf back, fantasy golf. We've got soccer. We've got MMA now that are fantasy sports. And I think you're going to see an emergence of college football and college basketball being the things that were out there, but at a minor level that are just going to absolutely grow.
How do you make the college football work? Because I remember... the first couple times I played it, and the only couple times, it's just, I don't know dudes on Iowa State. What I mean? It's so wide open that it's kind of...
so you can do it one of two ways. So what we do is we use kind of like the 6 power conferences, and we throw like BYU and Boise State in there. And then of those conferences, and it's a salary cap, it's 10 players, $100 million. It's super easy. So you can pick players that you know from the conference you root for. Like I might go really heavy Pac-12 because I watch a lot of those games, or SEC, or, but... Like, I look at it and I go, all right, Big Ten running backs. I always love Big Ten running backs, right? They're going to ground the ball into the ground. So that's the kind of strategy I use. But you can really do it any way you want. If you want to just stick with a few schools or one conference, 2 conferences, you can play and be competitive.
You create your pool, basically.
You create, so it's a league game, so you play head-to-head against some person every week.
That's where the name comes from?
Exactly. Head-to-head matchups every week in all of our leagues, which is a lot of fun. So you've got an opponent, and it's just been, and have live stats. And we have college basketball as well. Same thing. Same conferences.
Awesome.
We got to head over to Head2Head Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that, right?
Yeah.
A lot of heads in there. Stacie Stern, thanks so much. Thanks for throwing this beautiful conference, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad to have you guys here. This has really been great, and with the Fantasy Sports Network and having talented guys like you.
Oh, shucks. Well, thank you. And ignore Twitter. Those people are jerks.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Stacie Stern from Head2Head Sports, part of Colton and the Wolfman. They made a selection in the second round that people have been talking about. Go look it up online. We're not that level.
No.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to take a quick break from the FSTA Summer Conference put on by Stacie Stern on the Fantasy Sports Network. We'll be right back.